Y'all owe me, man. Y'all owe me out there, man. Y'all owe me. We'll talk about it. Roll the intro, man.
This is Cornbread's Review. Hey, this is Cornbread's Review. This is Cornbread's Review. Talk about the hottest movies, old and new. Cinema breakdown, grasping the truth. No acting, I leave that for the cast and the crew. They capture the cool, not theatrical rules. So you better be direct or you have to produce something to break in like last minute news. And keep quiet when the real going mad and they rules. Woo.
Yo, welcome back for another episode of Cornbread Movie Review. I appreciate y'all for coming back again to see me, man. Every week I'm dropping content. Make sure y'all like and subscribe, please. Some of y'all ain't subscribed, but y'all watching though. I appreciate that. But make sure you subscribe. Come on, man. Like, what does it hurt? It's free. Just subscribe and then share it too. You know what I'm saying? Send it to people who love movies, want to go on a date night, might want to see something. Let them know, hey, watch me. I'm here for y'all to see if you should watch it or shouldn't watch it or disagree. Let me know. All right. So we back with another Cornbread Movie Review. So if you're new to the channel, understand I do my movie reviews in 5 different categories. All right. Acting, cinematography, storytelling. Did I get what I bought? And then is it a must see? Add it all up, spits out a Cornbread Movie Review. And then I'll rank them for the whole year, 2022. And then I always got a forgotten movie for y'all. All right. So today we are going to talk about Don't Worry, Darling. Don't Worry, Darling is out, ladies and gentlemen. It is rated R and it's also in theaters. Okay. It's a new movie. Like I said, it just came out. So let me know what you think at the end of it. All right. First category is acting. All right. Who's in this movie? You got Florence Pugh. She's always a beast in every movie that she does. She basically plays a wife in the 50s and 60s, which we'll get into the storytelling and all the other stuff with that. But she plays a confused person. I'm going to go on the limb and say this. I got an analogy for Florence Pugh, man. For my basketball heads out there, you'll appreciate this, all right? So she's like Russell Westbrook or Kyrie Irving. What do I mean by that? She'll put up 40, 50 points, right? Like her acting skills are on 1,000, but she doesn't make anybody else better. That's her. It's like every scene for her she kills, but either she's better than the people that she's acting against or the story doesn't go with the acting. It's kind of weird. And like I said, if you've seen this movie, you kind of understand what I'm saying. So she always does her thing in every movie, but it never meshes with the people that she's interacting with. So that's what I have to say about her. Also, Chris Pine is in this movie. I know you've seen him in Wonder Woman, Star Trek, other movies like that, right? So he plays basically the owner of this situation that we're about to discuss. It's a smaller role that he has, but he's a major part or a major piece in this movie. Through the grapevine, you heard that this cast really don't even like each other in real life. So it's pretty crazy how like certain scenes are heated or they don't get along. It might be real, right? It might not be acting. So that's just, food for thought for behind the scenes. So overall acting for me is going to get a 3.5 out of 5. I think certain scenes were great, but the acting just didn't connect with other things, right? So overall 3.5 out of 5 for acting. Next category, cinematography. Now, this movie was $35 million. It's not a big budget movie. It's not a blockbuster hit, with 100 and 200 million. So very small scale. It's a little above low budget, right? So 35 million to make. And it's also an hour and 50 minutes. So very standard time for a movie. You're not going to get slighted or feel like the movie's rushed. But some certain things didn't make sense where the movie could have been longer to fulfill those things. All right. Also with the cinematography, right? So let's talk about the look and the feel of it. This movie takes place in the 50s or 60s. Hard to tell. It's really no pinpoint, hey, this is the time, or even the location, right? Like I'm thinking it's California, but they said it was Victory Town, which I don't know where that's at. It's made up. but to me, I think it's in California. But some context clues is like the music they were playing, the clothes that they were wearing, even the period of time when you have women just staying home and then the men working, right? So obviously we went through that in real time. Black and white TVs. So you got a couple clues of when it is, but there was no definite answer. Visually, it looks good, man. There's not a lot of clutter in this movie. And what do I mean by that? There's not a lot of extras. It's not really filmed in a big city where there's a lot of buildings. You know, this is kind of like in the desert. Like I said, it's probably in California or somewhere, or Arizona. So it's like in the desert, very stationary of this is this town or this is this location. It's very clean. So it's a good mixture of action and towns, but it's not messy, if that makes sense. Okay. I really like how they interweave some of the drama and the frustration and confusion with the music and the editing. You know, like they'll be in a situation where they're shocked or have a flashback, and they'll flashback real quick and then go back to it. So I think they took a little time on trying to master that feel so that even as a viewer, you're confused or just as nervous and have the same anxiety as the actor. So I think that was pretty cool. But for me, the cinematography was, you know, low-key standard, you know. Like I said, clean, crisp, not a lot of clutter, and that's it. And they did a little bit of editing, you know. Obviously, every movie has editing, but to get to enhance it. So they did a little bit of that. So for me, cinematography is also going to get a 3.5 out of 5, okay? Next category, storytelling, man. We got to talk about this. So once again, the time frame of this movie is like the 50s or 60s. The premise around it is the women stay at home all day. The men go to work. Their confusion of how did we get here? Why don't I get to work if I'm the woman? Why don't I get to work? Why is everything the same? What do y'all really do? Why can't I go with you? Why can't I leave the town? Why is all the food made by the same person, right? Why are we this guy right here, why is he like the king? Or why does he make all the rules and I can't say anything against him? So that's the premise of the movie. As an audience member, you're thrown right in the mix, right, with Florence's character. So whatever she sees for the first time, you're seeing it for the first time. Whatever she feels, that's how you're supposed to feel. If that is the logic behind this, then there's a lot of plot holes in some of the things that happen. Obviously, I'm going to give some spoilers, but I'm not going to give it all because I still want y'all to see it, see if you agree or disagree. But that's, as the audience, you got to be prepared for that. So one of my main issues is if the premise is all these people here are confused, right, or cookie cutter, and one becomes unhinged or glitched out, what caused them to be glitched out, right? What caused them to become unhinged? You don't get that. So now you have a person going through this, let's say, midlife crisis, but you don't know how we got to that midlife crisis, right? Because you were with them the whole time. So why are they special compared to the next person? That's an issue. There's a situation going on where everything, like I said, you see what she sees. So something happens where there's like, I guess security guards, I call them red suits, just come and sweep them up, and she sees them. And then she talks to her husband like, oh, yeah, the red suits came in. Like, what do you mean? Hold on. This is as an audience member, this is the first time we've seen the red suits. But you're treating them like they're there all the time, but you only see them during this certain situations. So they did a bad job of explaining that. And then it also seems they said that this is like Victory Project 426, which I don't know what that means, but maybe that's what's going on in this town, right? Maybe it was a project going on. With that, if people are glitching or messing up or resetting, does that work for everybody? I'm trying to tell y'all without telling y'all. That's basically what's going on. They had a lot of unanswered questions. While you're just as confused, the actor is, but yet they're not doing the backstory of kind of helping you out and explain it. Okay, they did do a couple, they did do a flashback, right? So you understand a little bit, but there's so many plot holes that they didn't take the time to fill them all in. So you definitely need a prequel to this so that you get the full story. So for me, storytelling is going to get a 2.5 out of 5, man. I was disappointed, and I was excited to see, okay, how are we going to play this out? And then I'm like, they still didn't fully explain what's going on. They did, but they didn't. So once again, I don't want to tell y'all everything. I'm not going to give you all the spoilers. So 2.5 out of 5 for me. All right. Next category, did I get what I bought? Like I said, the movie is in theaters. It's, standard movie ticket, $10 to $15, depending on when you go and your location. This is a thriller, mystery, drama. You get some of those. To the highest extent, I'm going to say no, but they did fulfill that need for that, okay? The best way I could describe this movie is it's a mixture between The Truman Show and Get Out. If those two movies had a baby, you will get this movie. And the one thing I did not like, hold on, man. The one thing I did not like is that you had this whole cast of people, and the one person tripping this movie is a black person. Come on, man. We got to do better. Come on, man. Come on. We got to. It's 2022. Those days are over of doing that. Those days are over. Now, if you want to say that person was woke or trying to empower that person, then do that. But that's not how it was relayed to me. That you got all these white characters, and then the one black character in here, that's the one that's tripping. Come on, man. We got to do better with that. So did I get what I bought? I'm going to say a 3 out of 5. Did a couple things that I wasn't expecting, but for the premise of the trailer and everything, it did deliver on that. All right, 3 out of 5. Now, last category, is it a must-see? This movie is very confusing. If you want to see an actor that's confused and then an audience that's confused, and you like that, definitely go watch this movie. It's very incomplete and a lot of plot holes. But the virtual reality feel looks good. Like I said, it's kind of in the future too. Once again, I don't want to tell y'all everything. And it is rated R. Not really because of blood, but it is a few sex scenes. And it's some violence too, so people doing violence to themselves or to others. So just to keep that in mind if you want to go see it and try to bring, your teenage kids or something like that. That's just a FYI. So for me, is it a must-see? I'm going to say a 3 out of 5. I want you guys to help me out if I'm tripping or understand my pain if you do see it. So 3 out of 5, is it a must-see? Overall, can I get a drum roll? Overall, Don't Worry, Darling receives a 3 out of 5 from Cornbread Movie Review. All right. Check out my 2022 movies. Like I said, every week we going to talk about some things movie related or TV show related. All right. Now, I wouldn't be me if I didn't give y'all a forgotten segment. All right. I got a good one today, man. I got one that's kind of under the radar. It's really good. A lot of people, I'm sure, haven't seen it. But this movie came out in 2014. It has to deal with media and how people deal with power. It's unreal. And that movie is Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler, ladies and gentlemen, has Jake Gyllenhaal. To me, he killed these roles. It was at a time where he did 3 or 4 movies kind of like this of him. He's being like a method actor, right? So he did his thing in this movie, Nightcrawler. I guarantee if you haven't seen it, you need to. And if you have seen it, trust me, you need to go back and watch it. It's a solid movie. People go crazy when they get power, But there's also diamonds in the rough too, with certain people. They might be good at something just because they don't have the popularity or don't look cool or have the money and stuff like that. So Nightcrawler, Don't Worry, Darling, Cornbread Movie Review. I'll be back again next week with another episode. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Holla at your boy. Peace.